Hello, welcome to Grant Administration Training, Module 3, Grant Stages and Tasks in Salesforce. We're going to start here on the Grant Opportunity homepage, which I have done a training for previously. So if you're not familiar with the Grant Opportunity homepage, please go and do that training, and then you can come back to this one. It'll make a lot more sense. Okay, so we're going to start out. When we are talking about grants, we talk about them in 5 different stages, and that is research, development, ask submitted, awarded committed, or closed lost if we didn't get it, and completed. So those are the 5 grant stages. You can always refer back to the memo, the written part of this training, or SLAB, to look at those, to reference those. And we are going to get started here. So each stage has automated tasks that get created with it, and we're going to go over what tasks are involved in what stage and who's responsible for what. Again, you'll be able to reference the memo as for a list of tasks, and then you can always go back to this training if you need more detail. Okay, so here we are. We're at a grant opportunity. This is a test. You'll see Abby is our opportunity owner for the test, even though she's not an opportunity owner. Typically, this is just for the purpose of this test record. You'll see that I've already assigned this opportunity to Callie as the writing lead. The ask amount is $10,000. Our due date is October 25th. And this is in stage research. So this is where when we change stages, then that automates different tasks. So we're going to start with stage research. Now you'll see in stage research, if we scroll down here to open activities. So in stage research, there are 3 tasks, automated tasks. One is review opportunity, and that actually goes to Abby as so that she can just look at the page, the grant opportunity, and make sure everything's all good before we actually start using this for our process. The next one is determine and enter name of writing lead, and that one goes to me. I did already assign Callie when I was entering this grant opportunity, but if I hadn't already, this task would prompt me to do so. When determining writing leads, for the most part, Callie works with New Jersey, so Jersey City and Patterson. Maddie works with Michigan, so Grand Rapids and Detroit. Jill works with National and kind of some special projects and sort of whatever falls into a miscellaneous category. So that's for the most part the way that we assign grants. There could be some flexibility there, but that's for the most part that's the way we do it. And then approve, close out, and update stage. So that goes to me. So I'm going to scroll back up here, and you will see in stage research, I do want us to move ahead with this grant, and so I'm going to approve that we move forward with it. And to do so, I'm going to update the stage from research to development. So you'll see now the stage is development. That means that this gives the okay to the writing lead and the opportunity owner to begin the application. So I'm going to save it, and then you'll see when we scroll down, now you'll see the stage is saved as development. We're going to scroll back down to the activities here, and now you're going to see that we suddenly have several more activities that were automated when we changed the stage to development. So you'll see draft budget. So the draft budget goes to the finance team. That's to draft the budget for the application. Draft content and enter grant name. That goes to the grant writing lead. Let's see. We've got review content or assign content reviewer. So once the writing lead has prepared a draft that they feel is ready to go, they will first ask the grant opportunity owner to review that application before it is submitted. And so this goes to the grant opportunity owner. They can either review the content themselves or they can ask a member of their team to do it for them. So that's what that means. So once you've, as a grant opportunity owner, once you've reviewed the content, you could close this task out. Next, the grant draft comes to me. I then review and approve the content that it's ready to be submitted. Then I close this task out. Once it's ready to be submitted, you'll see here there are actually 2 submit application tasks. Now, one goes to the grant opportunity owner. This is so that you can get your KPI points for submitting this application. And so in order to get those points, you have to close out this task. The second submit application is so that the writing lead can get their KPI points for submitting this application. So that's the way we had to do it, so that we could apply points to both the opportunity owner and the writing lead. Everyone's responsible for their own tasks, which then generates their own KPI points. So the writing lead here would submit the application. So then we will move on to the next stage. So the application has been submitted, all these tasks have been closed out. We'll go back up here and we will change this to, the stage is changing to ask submitted. Okay, so you see that we have the stage ask submitted. I'm going to save it. Okay, so we've changed the stage to ask submitted, clicked save. You scroll down now and you will see that the ask submitted stage then generated 2 new automated tasks. Now, while I went ahead and cleaned up all the other tasks, and you will see now that they are logged here in the activity history. So now we're going to work on these tasks for ask submitted. So there's just 2. One is the submission documents uploaded in Salesforce. That one goes to the writing lead, and that just basically reminds them that we need to make sure that any pertinent documentation at this point is saved, is attached to this record here. And so that would include the application. That might include the RFP, that might include the budget, any pertinent information that someone down the road might need at this stage should be attached to this record. And then once that's done, you can close this out. And once that happens, then we wait. So there's another task here, set award letter processes. That goes to me. And what we're doing right now is waiting for the application. We've submitted it. The funder is reviewing it. We're waiting for them to finish their review process and to notify us if we have been awarded the grant or not. So what this set award letter processes task does is it prompts me to be checking on the status of that grant and in the ask. So I might check the grant portal. I might reach out to the grant opportunity owner. I might reach out to the writing lead. We just want to make sure that we're staying up to date and we are notified as soon as possible if we were awarded the grant or not. So this helps me to be proactive in doing that. So that's what that task is. Okay, so in this case, we're going to say that we were awarded the grant. So if we were awarded the grant, we're going to go ahead and change the stage to awarded committed. All right, so we changed it to awarded committed. Now we're going to click save. Okay, now you'll see when we go back down to open activities that automatically generated a slew of activities, and these are all around managing the grant and the compliance items. So these are automatically generated. They may not always be exactly correct. The due dates might be a little bit different. There may not be an interim report due, or there might be. In some cases we have grants that are monthly reports. But basically, just having these tasks automated just helps us to make sure that we're not missing anything. So what I do is after we change the stage to awarded committed, I'll come back in here and clean this up. I'll reference the grant award documents that let us know what reports are due when, and then I will go ahead and change the due dates to be accurate. If there's not an interim report due, I will delete this one. If there are multiple reports due, I will add them. And so you'll see all of these are really what's all about managing the grant from this point forward. So when it comes to drafting budgets for reports, those go to finance. When it comes to drafting the report, those go to the writing lead. Then the final review and report submission actually goes to the opportunity owner. We want to make sure that you've read the report and that you get those KPI points for submitting the report. Let's see. We also ask you to submit the pledge form and update the opportunity. So you will be asked to fill out the pledge form so that you can let philanthropy know that this grant has been awarded and that they are to expect a payment. There is a training in Slab about how to fill out the pledge form and where to find it. It's pinned to the Salesforce channel in Slack. And then that will get into philanthropy, and then Abby will enter it in as a pledge. And there's also a training about pledges and multiple installations. So I won't get into that. Execute grant agreement or letter, that goes to the grant opportunity owner, and that is if we receive a grant award letter or a grant award contract or a grant award agreement, if something needs to be signed by New City Kids that lets the funder know that we're accepting the grant along with all the terms and conditions, the grant opportunity should be the one signing that letter, because ultimately you're responsible for those things happening. The grant team might be able to help you and support you in this, but ultimately, we need you to sign and make sure that it gets back to the funder. So that's what that means. A kickoff meeting basically means, I'm going to just check in with, it comes to me, I'm going to check in with the grant opportunity owner, the writing lead, perhaps finance, maybe program people, depending on who's managing this grant or who's actually implementing the activities of the grant. And this is just about making sure that everyone understands the grant, understands what the outcomes are, understands what we need to track, understands what expenses are restricted, and that just everyone who's involved in this grant understands what it is and has the processes in place to be tracking it and managing it along the way. This might not be a meeting. It might end up being an email that I send to folks. I might do it in our regular one-on-ones. I try not to actually overschedule your calendars. So it might not be a traditional meeting, but the sentiment is there. So those are the activities for awarded committed. Let's see. Now we're going to go back up here. Now let's say that we didn't get the grant. We were declined. So if we didn't get the grant, we would change it to closed lost. Changing it to closed lost. Now you'll see if I just hit save, it won't let me save it because we need to enter a type under the closed lost type field. So you'll come down here to close. This is the closed lost section. You'll pick the type of closed loss, and you'll see there's a drop-down menu here. In most cases, it's because they declined it. So you'd pick declined, pick the appropriate reason for loss, and then if you tried to save it again, it wouldn't let you because it also wants you to fill in a closed loss reason. So just go ahead and do that while you're down here. And this is a free form field, so that's oftentimes the reason. What we weren't a good fit for the funder for whatever reason. You could definitely get into more information here. If they do give you feedback about why we were declined, we'd like to make sure we save that and attach it to this record. So when we apply again, we can look back to the feedback and try to improve upon the next application. All right, so in the case of closed loss, make sure you fill in the closed loss type, the closed loss reason, and then it'll let you go up here and save. Okay, the final stage is completed. So I brought up that drop-down menu under stage. I'm picking completed, okay, and then I'm going to save it. Now with completed, you will see that what completed actually means is that this grant has been paid in full. If it's multiple installments, then there's an installment for each. There's a grant opportunity entered in Salesforce for each installment. And so then as the grant is paid down, each installment is then marked completed. If it's paid in one lump sum, it's all right here. So once it's fully paid, then we make the stage completed. That doesn't necessarily mean that the grant is done. There still very well could be outstanding compliance items, reports due, and what have you. All right, when we hit the close stage, it then automated 2 tasks down here. Set up grant opportunity renewal. So that goes to Abby. So she's gonna enter a new grant opportunity for FY25. So we are prompted to apply for it at the proper time next year. And then confirm and upload required documents goes to the writing lead. And again, that anything that has been received since applying, we want to make sure that we save and attach here to the record. Okay, now that completes Module 3 of the Grant Administration Training. The grant team's always here to help you in answering any questions. You can always ask us. You can always refer back to this training. You can always refer back to the memo, all the trainings that are logged in SLAB. The next step here will be to release the entire training package with all of the modules at once. So that'll be our next memo, and that will conclude and kind of wrap up the training. And we should all be at some point operating like a well-oiled machine here. The grant team will support us along the way until we get there. Thank you very much.